are at. And I'm not trying to put thoughts in your head. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the thing you're having a hard time coming to grips with. You guys want to be inferior to a man that's superior.
Not inferior.
You don't like the word, I know, but
I want you to be
whatever
led.
you want to call the term for lesser than. You want him greater than you.
But led by.
You want a man that's greater than you because you don't want to have.
That's like me saying that my children aren't of human value as much as I am. Of course they are.
Well, to the world they're not. To anybody else they're not.
I'm taking care of them. I am nurturing them. I want the best for them. I want to love because they are so important.
To you, they're valuable. To the world, they're net negative. They don't want to have to take care of your kids.
The reason why Jesus and God wants the best for us is because we are so important. Men are so important to him, right? The reason why I want the best for my children is because they're so incredibly important. They are so important that I'm willing to give all of everything I've got to them to make sure they have everything they need to grow and be and flourish and all these things. That's the way a man should feel about his.
But unless and until they grow up to a successful adult, they're not valuable to anybody else but you, right? They're not valuable to anybody else but you until they're a successful adult, right?
Say that again.
Your kids are not valuable to anybody else but you until they're grown successful adults, right?
I would beg to differ.
Okay, who are they valuable to potentially?
Society, God.
When they're kids?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Yes.
What are they producing? What are they providing?
They don't have to produce anything to have value.
Then, okay, what's their value then?
See, you guys are looking at value as monetary. It's not.
No, I'm looking at it as some substance, something of worth. Children, something that somebody's going to pursue and want, and not negative.
Well, no, Julius has a child. Children bring to this world what we have forgotten about as human beings. They bring innocence. They bring joy. They bring smiles. They bring laughter. They bring lessons to you every single day.
None of this is valuable.
Hold on.
They bring lessons. They bring a spiritual value that you can't even explain until you have a child. Yeah, and that's the way God feels about every single one of us. And we are so.
But only to you, right? Only your kids are like that. Not every kid.
No,
only to you they feel that way. You feel that way.
Yeah,
nobody else feels that way about anybody else's kids. You know.
Hang on. Let me say this real quick. I see what both of you guys are saying. Carmen, you mentioned I have a kid. I would say this. My child, yes, is valuable to me, right? Because I'm taking care of her, things like that. But to society, they don't see her as valuable because especially when they have a disagreement with them, they don't see them as valuable.
Well, especially if there's not a parent around raising them successfully and they're out in the streets being a net negative, not valuable.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm saying to Nick's point that
about financials. Why are we talking
about any productive, beneficial way that they help anybody else but you who is attached to them because they're your parent and you love them, obviously. But anybody else,
that's not.
I mean, until they grow up and they're adults, like they can't really offer it for at least young adults.
Children, like I just said, but you didn't listen.
No, I did, but that's only to you that they offer that. They don't offer that to anybody else, right?
To society. Are you kidding me?
They're not fulfilling anybody else's soul but yours because they're your kids, right?
That's not necessarily
your kids don't fulfill my soul, right?
Maybe if you met her, she would.
Well, do other kids fulfill your soul like your kids do?
Some kids do.
As much as your own?
If I meet them.
As much as your own?
They all have, if you are a believer, I don't know if you are, but if you're a believer, every soul on this planet has a purpose and I would agree with that. As an intrinsic spiritual value. And all of us are valued as equals. Equal.
Can you give me anything tangible to back that?
Yes, the Bible.
No, like any value.
Like the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence says in the first 55 words of the Declaration of Independence says, all men are created equal under our Creator, under God. All.
Right, but that's not boys. Boys become men first. Boys got to become men.
Huh?
Boys are not men. They're minors. They have to become men. They're not equal until then.
You're saying all people.
No, because we don't let minors vote. They don't have the same rights. They're not the same thing until they're men. They're not valuable.
Are you telling me that the Declaration of Independence didn't include women and children?
Correct. Can women and children vote according to the Declaration of Independence?
The Declaration of Independence doesn't say anything about voting.
It talks about adults, men, not minors.
It says all men, humankind, are all created equal.
It didn't say that. I know the words. I've read it many times. It doesn't say that. It says men.
Yeah, but you're getting into semantics. When they say men, they mean humankind.
You're assuming that. They don't say that though. You think they're such good writers, they would have specified that.
So they don't
men, women, and children.
Women and
That wouldn't have been that hard to specify.
So they meant that women and children are all subordinates, but all men of all colors are equal.
You guys want the superior. This is your guys' take, not mine. I don't care what you do. You guys want this. If you're having a hard time coming to terms with it, I'm not pushing it on anybody. This is what you guys want.
What do you mean? What I want?
A superior man, which makes you an inferior woman.
No, yes, there needs to be a hierarchy, just like in every business, like you mentioned. There's a hierarchy. That doesn't mean that anybody has any less value. Like, for example, in the company that I work for, the most valuable people in that company are the salespeople, not the CEO, not the
I can follow you on that.
Manager, not anybody. All the
they're producing value, income,
like
money.
Like Kimmy said,
that's valuable.
People, they're like the most important, and people buy from people. So you can say, oh, the CEO is invaluable, not necessarily.
Okay, whoever's producing the value, the income stream, or the revenue is the value. The parents are doing that, and they're providing for their children. Their children would die if not for their parents doing that for them. If the parents weren't around, society would have to do that for them, and therefore they're a net negative, not a value until they're adults.
If you look at how society was 100 years ago, 200 years ago, all the children were working on the family homestead. So now it's a little bit different.
Right. Maybe
right?
then you
now
make it they're of some value. Yeah.
They're just going to school, learning, and education. But children are extremely valuable to, yes, a family, but also to a society. Because if you don't have enough children, society doesn't, you know that we don't even make enough children in this country to keep America afloat.
I hear you on that. Yeah, that's a problem.
Okay. We have a 1.75 reproduction replacement rate in this country. You need 2.1. You need a 2.1 reproduction replacement rate in a country for it to sustain itself.
That is a problem.
1.75. So tell me that my child is not important to you.
They have the potential to be valuable. And of course, they're important to us to sustain the population, but they're not producing anything of value. That's all I'm arguing until they're adults.
And I'm arguing against that. I'm saying,
but we'll have to agree to disagree because now we're like really late. I gotta wrap it up, man. I can't keep going. Sorry, Julius. You guys can keep going. I just can't. I have to work and shit, man. I can't keep going.
Your value